welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show I am joined by Eli Seitz for a game of Thursday. Thursday is a no dice, no masters, belonging outside belonging game about time loops. Inspired by stories like Russian Doll, it is about people who have come to realize that they are trapped in a time loop, living the same day over and over again, trying to understand what is unfolding as the world repeats around them and slightly changes around them in strange and surreal ways. And it is beautiful. It is a game that I truly love. I loved playing it. I loved reading it. You know that I'm a sucker for time loop stories, so playing this game was incredibly fun, and the way that it uses the token economy stuff is really cool and interesting. I really think you're going to love the sort of time loop weird story that we told with this episode, so I'm really excited about it. You can find more information about Thursday at Eli Seitz, that's ELISEITZ.itch.io/Thursday, or you can check the show notes for more information. Now, one quick housekeeping note before we dive in. After next week, which will be the 29th, we are taking December off. Outside of the Christmas episode, which is a separate thing, that'll be around the holiday. We're taking the month off. We're going to give ourselves a couple weeks to de-stress and unwind and enjoy the holidays and wrap up the year. So, yeah. Just wanted to give a heads up. Next week will be the last episode of the year proper, so get excited for that. And also, give yourself some time off from your projects because you deserve it. You work very hard. I see that and I appreciate it, and you deserve some time off. With all that said, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down once again with Eli Seitz. Eli, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
It's a pleasure to be back this time, the last time, all of the times. Time travel's tricky that way, Jeff.
It really feels like it's the first time, even though it's been so many times. And let me tell you, knowing what's ahead of us, having been through this a couple dozen times, very excited for the game that we're about to play. I think it's going to turn out just as well as it has all the times previously. So, speaking of the game, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about what we are playing this week, as well as anything else you've got going on that you want them to know about.
Yes. Today, we are playing Thursday, which is a no dice, no masters game about time loops inspired by the Netflix television series Russian Doll. So we're going to make some characters and die a whole bunch and learn about them through some time loops.
I feel like I'm certain that I've mentioned this to you, but time loops there's very few things that are more my jam than a time loop. They're one of my favorite things. They're one of my favorite tropes of all, and so I'm very, very excited. I've been looking forward to playing this for a very long time, and I could not be more excited.
I'm so glad that we found the time to create some times.
I am too, it really seems like I could use a few more time loops just to fit in all of the games that I want to play, but then I wouldn't get to share them with the world, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and make our characters and pick our playbooks and setting elements, and I will throw it over to you to walk us through how we get started.
Absolutely. So Thursday is all about figuring out our characters in play, so the setup is going to be super simple. We've got 4 playbooks, and we're each going to pick one. And then we've got 4 setting elements, and we're each going to pick 2. And once we pick them, there's 1 or 2 questions that we'll do to start, and the rest of it we're just going to play to find out.
That sounds great. So our 4 playbooks, I think what we'll do is we'll read the opening text paragraph on the 4 playbooks, and then we'll kind of talk through which one we want to pick.
Yeah.
I'll go first, and then we'll hand it off from there. So I'll read the artiste. Nothing is better than finding a trickle of inspiration, following it to the spring, and drinking deep. So what if your thought process is hard to follow, or people give you strange looks on the subway? As long as you can do art, that should be enough, right?
Next up in our list of options is the Misanthrope. It's been 5 days since you left your apartment. Because Sunday was the last time you went grocery shopping for the week, and you have your routine down to a science. But life still feels like it's slipping away.
We have the Sellout. Suits, check. Sports car, check. View of the skyline, check. And let's be real, what else do you need? Money solves all problems and opens all doors. So why does it feel like something is missing?
And our last option, the Trendsetter. Every party needs a leader. a legendary figurehead known to all, whose exploits are spoken about with reverence. You know every one and always know the next trend right before it blows up. But every night you end up alone or with someone completely disposable.
I think I know which playbook I immediately float towards, but I also want to throw it over to you first and say, is there one that you are immediately feeling on this particular playthrough?
I'm good for any of them, so if one appeals to you, snag it.
I want to I'm feeling like playing against type a little bit. I play a lot of put together characters. I play a lot of talkers and a lot of sellouts and trendsetters. And so the idea of playing the Misanthrope feels great to me. The idea of playing the character that has their routine and just does not want to break that routine and does not particularly want to be at this party feels perfect to me.
Nice. Let's see. I think I've played a lot of trendsetters, but I think tonight, to get me in the mood, to hype me up, I think it's time for a sellout.
That feels like a good pairing. That feels like a good contrast is the Misanthrope and the sellout. And so now we're going to pick each of us are going to pick 2 of our setting elements. We have 4 setting elements that we'll kind of talk through a little bit. So let's introduce our 4 setting elements, and then we'll decide which ones we want to pick.
Totally. So, of the setting elements, we've got one that deals with supernatural time screwiness, which is the loop. And we've got one that's all about the setting and the location, which is the city. And each of us will pick one of those. And then we've got 2 that focus on NPCs in our game, which is the home team and the away team. Mm-hmm. And the home team focuses on kind of friendly NPCs, and the away team focuses on maybe a little bit more antagonistic or just general asshole NPCs.
I love it.
And we'll each take one of those as well.
So the one that I really want to grab, because as someone else that has written a game in which a character plays the city, I'm really feeling towards the time loop just to mix things up, because otherwise I'm going to start falling into a game of anyone can wear the mask, and we can't have that happen. I'm really feeling the time loop. I love the time screwiness. I love, taking on that role of showing what happens on each successive loop and really kind of building out the cycle that we're kind of trapped in.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I look forward to seeing what weirdness you can bring to it, and I will take the city and play with my 66 list of locations.
Nice. I'm very excited to hear this. That makes me very happy. So I guess the other question that I'll throw to you, since I picked the loop, are you feeling friendly or like an asshole tonight?
Well, my sellout character is probably a little bit of an asshole, so I'll take the friendly NPCs, so I'm not just playing full asshole all night.
Got it. That feels like a good good decision to make. So I will play the away team and the loop, and you will be playing the city and the home team. So we've got our selling elements and our characters. What are we doing next? Are we jumping in, or do we have more prep to do?
Yeah, we can go back to our playbooks, and where name and pronouns are helpful to start. And then we'll each pick a vibe off the lists. And then we together pick what our shared starting location will be. I'd recommend the party, because it's kind of the classic.
Yeah. I am thinking. So my vibes are normcore camouflage, nothing but athleisure, carefully considered and carefully pressed, or blue tag thrift store special. And I think, God, I love nothing but athleisure. That's just it's a good evocative pick, and that gives me a lot of what this character's vibe is. If I'm picturing a sweatsuit. Like, I don't know, I'm picturing a real fucking Sopranos style, like, not polyester, but like neon tracksuit, like with the racing stripes on the side.
I was gonna say it's not a high fashion sweatsuit. We're talking kind of schlubby.
Yeah. We are talking clearly did not buy it to capitalize on the stylish sweatsuit moment.
Excellent. And I think my vibe will be luxury branded tees with the tightest pants.
Oh, that feels good. I like that.
Everyone loves a nice, huge Gucci right across the chest to show everyone that you have money.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's how else are they gonna know? And so now we're going to pick our starting locations. The Misanthrope starting locations are upstairs telling the party to quiet down, trying not to be noticed at the coffee shop, or dragged to the zoo on a double date. I think going with the party is the right call, and I love being upstairs telling people to quiet down. That just feels like a good energy, and that also feels like a great reason for me to be wearing this weird sweatsuit that I am rocking as I am trapped in this time loop.
And I am also at the party, but I'm crashing the party, and the party is hosted by a friend of a friend. So neither of us are really supposed to be there.
I want to throw out the detail immediately that I think when whatever has happened, like, I think that in the moments before the time loop has started to loop, I think what has brought me to the party is that I am very literally the upstairs neighbor. coming down to tell people to quiet down, so I've like thrown on whatever outdoorsy clothes I have, which is this green and white sweatsuit with the racing stripe down the side. Because I'm wearing it, it's what I wear for jogging, I said, having never jogged in my life.
You have to be prepared.
It's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen eventually. I think I'm coming down and like I've been having I think what has happened, what is very funny to me for this character is to come down to kind of like lecture some people and kind of tell some people to shut the fuck up, and then get kind of dragged into the party a little bit. Like nobody quite hears me when I'm like, hey, I gotta sleep, I got work in the morning, can you please? They just kind of throw an arm around me and like bring me into the room.
Come on, man, you gotta loosen up. Here, have some shots.
And I think my character's name and pronouns are, I'm gonna go Mark, he, and his. I think Mark feels right.
Nice. I'm trying to decide pronouns because I feel like my look of the branded tees and the tightest pants works for both masculine and feminine.
It does.
And
it very much does.
Which way do I want to go? I'm looking at the name list. Let's go he, him, and I'll go with Rocky.
Cool, Rocky. I love it. So a brief run through of the actual gameplay rules for people that might be unfamiliar is we have on our character sheet, on our playbooks, we have weak moves that are moves that will get us in trouble and cause problems. They will give us a token. We have regular moves, which we can do at any time without spending a token, and then we have strong moves, which we have to spend a token in order to do. And so we have to get in trouble before we can do the cool things to get us out of trouble.
Precisely.
Now, I want to ask you a question, and this might be a question for me to answer the loop, but I want to throw it to you anyway. I have a proposal and a question for you to kind of kick us off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about my preferences in time loop media, and I'm thinking about like the things that I like in time loop media. The two questions that I want to ask is, I think at least one of us, I want it to be that we have gone through a few loops already, and we've just in the interest of time, like, started to pass through the sort of pass through the needle of, I'm now realizing that this is actually happening and that it's not just a dream. And so I want to ask you which if one of us, or is it both of us, that has started to piece together that things are actually looping and that this is not just bad deja vu or a dream or you've hit your head.
Yeah, I like that, of giving us a jump start. I don't think that Rocky is the sharpest rock in the tool shed, so I'm not sure if he has completely gotten it yet.
I'm perfectly okay with Mark being the one kind of going like, wait a second.
I think he's also probably the one that's slightly more sober in this scenario to start off with.
Yep. That feels right. So I think then with that, I believe it is it the city's job to set the scene, or is it the loop's job to set?
The loop can call out who's doing it, but I've got the location. I mean, we're in a apartment block. We've got I think that does Mark have the rooftop apartment? Like the tallest one up there?
I'm gonna say no, because I think it's much funnier if Mark has the one directly underneath the rooftop apartment. And, like, the party is happening both underneath and on... Like, I'm sandwiched in the middle of 2 floors of party. Which is just added to the frustration and added to the fact that I'm, like, running up and down stairs telling people to knock things off.
Yeah, so this party is truly just, like... It has blown up majorly. Someone put it on Facebook, someone put it on Twitter, and people are just showing up. And it is spilled into the 2 floors, the above and below you. And there are people on the staircase going up. And you can just hear the elevator, like, dinging every 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. That it's just full surround sound party. Even if you were maybe slightly less of a misanthrope than you were, it would still be incredibly annoying.
Oh, yeah. And it's, like, it is inescapable, right? Like, it is that it is happening in all directions. I imagine I don't even have a condo, so, like, it is, like, the apartments next to mine as well. Like, it is in every single direction, the apartments to the left, to the right, on top, below, like, at this point, the entire building is starting to get in on it, or has gotten in on it, and I think that we saw the first night, like, I told everybody to shut up, and then I died, and then I woke up the next night, and I told everybody to shut up again, because I just had a bad dream about this, and then I died again.
It didn't work.
And I'm somehow back in here, and I am currently operating on the theory that I am in hell. Like, this is the moment where I'm going, like, oh, this is hell. Oh, this is my hell. Being surrounded by all these people is... Cool. I've lived a life to warrant hell. I can't say that I have not done that, but great. Cool. This is it. This is the bad ending. Great. And so where we find ourselves is I want to know so you are at the party. What are you doing when you see Mark kind of get shuffled in?
I think that so Rocky he crashed this party, and of course in the total opposite of Mark, like, this is the best party ever. This party, I don't know what's going on, but it's special and it never ends. Like, I don't remember what happens, but, like, a thing happens and then I get to go back to the beginning of the party and I just keep getting to party. Like, this is the best party ever. And so I think that we catch or I think maybe Mark catches Rocky, and Rocky has a group of people up on the roof, and they're all doing shots on the roof.
And I'm gonna kick things off with a weak move. I'm gonna kick things off with a weak move and find myself trapped. I am shoved onto the roof, right? Like, in that very kind of friendly way of, like, a crowd of people have thrown their arms, like, somebody has thrown their arm around me, and, like, I've stumbled out onto the roof. I think you see Mark practically wipe out face first into the pool, catch himself turn around, and, like, we all kind of see and I think maybe this is the first time you've noticed that the door closes. The door to the downstairs closes, and it does not unlock from the outside. And how does Rocky react to that? Like you've now seen that the door to the roof is locked, or that you are temporarily locked on the roof. What is your immediate reaction?
I'm not even sure if Rocky knows, because he's crashing this party. So he doesn't realize that it's locked, but he, like, what he does realize once they've emptied the bottle that they were doing shots from, and he goes to get another one, and it doesn't open. And so he's like looking around, and I think he sees Mark, who I'm assuming is kind of standing off to the side in this group of people trying to avoid them. And he's like, hey man, you look like you know your way around here. I think we got to get more boost. We got to get off the roof. Do you know if that fire escape over there is safe?
I'm going to flash back to an important memory. This isn't even the first time I've been locked on the roof. I flash back to we just get a cut to like 4 people cheering on Mark as he climbs his way down the fire escape, and the entire fire escape just collapses. And like we see the whole thing just fall. And I am picturing, tell me if you are picturing differently as you are the city. I am picturing this as a large apartment building.
Oh yeah, I mean we're not talking like 30 floors, but it's a solid 10.
Yeah. So like it falls. It's not like it falls, and like it falls to a point where you kind of stop seeing it for a moment. And you're like, oh no. And we flash back. You know what? Yes, sure. It's so safe. No, it's fine. No, it's not. It's not fine. Nobody climb on the fire escape. It's gonna fall. It really would have been funny to let you fall. I just want that noted. It would have been great to let you fall, but that's what got me here. So that's where I'm at.
I think Rocky, in classic Rocky fashion, is I'm going to make a weak move to make the situation infinitely worse, which is, that's how you got up here? Awesome, man. Why didn't you say that in the first place? We could just climb down then.
No. And I think as you're saying that, like, you have gathered up, I picture you having like almost inadvertently gathered up a crowd and moved towards the fire escape.
We're all gonna go down this fire escape. It's not just me. It's like me and 3 other drunk people are all gonna go down it.
And I am absolutely going to make a weak move and attempt and fail to be self-sufficient. I stop the crowd. I'm like, no. If nobody get on I will do the fire escape. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna open the door from the inside. It's here we go. I hope that if this is hell, I hope that this is hell and that I'm not imagining things. And I think this time what is different is that like it falls, but because I'm more hesitant because I've fallen on the fire escape before, I have failed to be self-sufficient because now I am like half dangling on a swinging fire escape, like reaching for someone to grab me, like reaching for someone's hand, like it's falling. It's exactly like I said it would, but it's falling. Can somebody please help me?
Oh no! So Mark is dangling there, and Rocky is just like eyes wide, like, dude, I thought you said it was safe.
We can talk about this when I'm up on the roof, please. Please.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to. He's inching his way out, and okay, so could you grab my arm and maybe we can haul you back up? And I'm gonna propose a mutually beneficial course of action.
I love it. I'm all about it, and I think that's exactly what happens. And at the moment that you pull me up, we watch the fire escape tumble, like fully detach and tumble down. We're both just standing over the ledge looking at it as it crashes into a dumpster, and there's just a huge screech of metal.
Whoa, dude.
Huh.
You could have died.
Yeah. No, I would have died. I mean, whoever was on that fire escape would have died.
That's crazy. think Rocky Rock is going to spend a token to expose a sliver of your true self as we're standing here on the roof. What do you think happens after you die?
I am gonna, let me see, I'm thinking I am going to... Oh, I want to upset someone by accident. That feels like a good move to make to that exact question. You know, figure best case scenario, nothing. It's just sort of empty. Worst case scenario, you end up right back where you started and you just kind of have to do the whole dying thing again. It's, neither option is great, but, that's your answers. I'm Mark, by the way.
Rock is just kind of staring into the middle distance. But if when you die, you still get a chance to, resolve the things that you haven't done, right?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. You know, you get a whole slideshow, and I am lying to someone, but they know it's a lie. You get a whole slideshow, and, an angel comes down, and they show you your greatest hits, and you have a whole table. It's real nice. I'm sure it's real fun. It's kind of a roast, kind of a this is your life situation. It's probably fine.
Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, you almost died there. This is serious. You're out here kidding? Like, when you're some kind of daredevil or something?
And I just I didn't want to see anybody else get hurt is all. I'm gonna expose a trigger. I'm doing this to expose. I'm actually accidentally kind of falling into exposing a sliver of my true self. I don't know. I didn't want to see anybody get hurt. I didn't listen. I was pretty sure one way or the other I was gonna be fine. So, why would I want somebody else who could potentially not be fine, right? I was pretty sure I was gonna wake up tomorrow. I didn't want somebody to feel like they're not gonna feel that way. I wouldn't want somebody to not wake up tomorrow. Huh.
That's pretty deep.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. Because I didn't let anybody else get hurt. And that's how this works, right? That's how it works is you do the nice thing and then you survive and then you wake up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it is. You got it. And I think let's keep this interesting. I think because I'm the loop and I'm the city. And one of the things that the city can do is when the characters talk about a person, place, or thing, just cut to that scene. And I think that we should cut from our conversation here to the dawn rising over the side of the building, and we see just a whole bunch of party goers. They eventually knock down the door, but I think that Mark spent the night on the roof. But Mark is waking up the next morning.
I actually love, and I love that. I think you're waking up the next morning, and the first thing that you see is sitting on a chair, knees to his chest. Is that Mark? I think it's I almost want to say I think what I want to propose is that Rocky is waking up the next morning and Mark is knees to his chest sitting on the chair, clearly, despite all of the talk that we've had about I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, has clearly gone the I'm just gonna stay awake. I'm just gonna stay awake.
Nothing can happen if my eyes are glued open.
Yeah, so I think you wake up to the sounds of people knocking down the door just in time, and you just see me knees to my chest it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. We made it to tomorrow. We're doing great.
Hell yeah, man. Let's get some breakfast.
And the crowd runs out. Everybody is very excited, and as the crowd runs out, the roof caves in immediately, and we are right back at the start of the party. It is just like
Incredible.
the mass of people just collapse the roof, and we are right back at the start of Mark is getting shoved into the like the moment of the blink moment is I'm getting shoved into the party, and I'm looking around like, son, I made.
Beautiful.
And the thing that I want to add is the loop.
Yes.
Is as one of the things that the loop does is add new strangeness with each successive loop. The thing that is different this time is last time it was like all of the apartments surrounding Marks were in the party. This time it's very visibly the whole building. It is very visibly like the building itself is kind of rattling. And like all of the lights are on and some of them are flickering like a dance party, and it is very clear like this entire building is throwing a jamboree except for Mark's one window that is shut off.
Incredible. And I think for Rocky's cut in is we actually get it's a camera trick, and the whole world looks like it's upside down. And then we realize that it's a point of view shot, and Rocky's doing a keg stand, and he's being lifted into the air, and then gets put back on his feet, and our camera returns to normal, and we see that Rocky's not on the roof; he's in the apartment just below where Mark's is, and it's just the most crowded house party you've ever seen. There's people everywhere.
And yeah, now it's mobs of people, and I think Mark kind of gets shoved towards like the kegs where Rocky is, and at that moment, I've got 3 tokens in front of me. I'm gonna spend one of them. Sorry, no, I should have 2 tokens in front of me. I think I'm gonna spend either way. I'm gonna spend a token, do a strong move, and ask for help. Because, like, I get shoved by the crowd towards the kegs, you're finishing your keg stand, you come down, and I see people just grab, like, 4 or 5, just grabbing as many bottles as they can and heading for the stairs. And I stand for a moment. Here we are. No, stairs, Rocky, we gotta go.
And I think you turn around and Rocky isn't. You don't see him. That he was in that corner, but he seems to have walked away. And I think I'd like to introduce one of the NPCs to kind of expand our circle here.
That sounds great.
In the story that we're telling. And I think I want to honor the move of like Mark is asking for help. We need someone who is on a sympathetic angle to him.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, who do you think is at this party that you could run into? I'm thinking we got some good options. We've got your therapist, your voice coach, a romantic crush, a friend crush, your weed dealer.
I'm gonna take 2 options.
Great.
And make them 1. Because most people's relationship with their weed dealer is fairly straightforward, and the weed dealer is the enthusiastic talking one. But for me, the therapist and the weed dealer are one and the same. I look forward to our weekly chats. I get my bag, and we just chat about the universe and life for a while. It's honestly, if that could be the only human interaction that I had in a week, I'd feel pretty happy. 'Cause, like, it's either enlightening, or it's at least very funny. And both of those options are great. So we turn around just in time to see my weed dealer. Hey, I don't actually know your name. I just have you in my phone as Weed Guy. Can I call you Weed Guy, or do you have like a name? And I realize that I've been going to you for 2 years. This is a bad time to ask this, because also we got to go like now. Like, do you have a name?
Yeah, man. I'm Jose. Like, we talk every week.
I know, but like, okay, we'll talk. We'll walk and talk. We're gonna Aaron Sorkin this. Let's go.
Yeah. So what are we doing here? You said you were like the stairs, and then you made this big dramatic gesture.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
By you.
We gotta get up the stairs. And we're running up the stairs as Mark was like pantedly explaining. No, it's because I got like I got like 2 months in to like come and visit you, and like I came to you because like I came to you through Dustin, so like he didn't introduce us. So, and like as I'm explaining,
Dustin
all
doesn't
of this,
really do names.
exactly, and I slam open the door that has just, I see it just closed shut. I slam it open, and I'm like, hold that for a second, hold that for just 1 second. By the time I got to know you, like it was too late to ask your name, and then I got into a whole thing. It's nice to meet you, Jose.
And like, when you already have like a set time that you meet someone, you don't really need to like look them up or constantly text them, because like, we got a standing appointment.
See, you get it. Like, this is why we're such good friends, Jose. And granted, I know that I sang that while recognizing I don't know your name.
But
this is why we vibe.
You're one of my best customers.
And honestly, you're one of my best friends, and that feels weird to say out loud.
Only a little bit.
And I think like I'm gonna make a weak move again. Cause it's very funny for us to get trapped in this moment as we get as Jose and Mark get caught up in this conversation. It is very funny for that door to like both of us just kind of idly let the door close, and then I hear it at the last second. I'm like, oh, but Jose,
was that shit?
Yeah, it's locked from there.
You know, I've got some joints if you want one.
Oh my god, yes, please. Oh my god. This is the first good thing that has happened to me in like 7 nights. Now, granted, that is also because, well, I'm not going to try and explain it to you. Maybe I'll explain it to you. I've died a bunch, like this week.
Like, spiritual death?
Maybe, but it's also physical. Like, Like, hold on. Jose, I'm gonna show you something. Where is Rocky at this moment?
I think that we cut to Rocky is about to leave the building because he was like, I want to go to the ground floor because I'm having bad vibes with being up high right now after what happened.
So, I'm gonna propose. That what happens is, you make it outside, you walk outside just in time to see, like, talk to me about your sport. What does your car look like? What is your ride? What is your sick ride?
Yeah. Thing is, I don't think that he's very classy in his choices, as we saw by the just like giant Gucci shirt. So I think it's just like a Maserati, or the kind of car that's like not a very good car, but it costs a lot of money. And
that's
people
very
know the
good.
name. That's
very good, because you walk outside just in time to see like your sick Maserati get pancaked by an entire fire escape. There's nobody on it, and you see 2 heads. You see like the dots of 2 heads just like leaning over as all of the lights of the party. You just see 2 little heads leaning over it. But like the fire escape has come down and just obliterates the car.
Incredible. I think I want to make this situation even more interesting by, I've got a regular move called get recognized in public by a friend or rival. And I think I want a rival who's just like almost another version of myself. Who's just gonna like walk up and be like, man, Rocky, is that your car?
An identical Maserati in just a slightly different color pulls up, and Adrian, your rival Adrian, comes out with several large bottles, like ready to bring even more liquor to the party. And like Rocky or Adrian's crew, like his crew comes out like, I'm picturing a player 2 palette swap, right? Like,
absolutely.
Comes out, more people are walking into the building, comes in and just looks and goes like, well then, I'm sure your insurance will cover it, right? That's probably not an act of God. I mean, probably. I don't know.
I mean, do you what the fuck was that?
Well, it looks, I mean, granted you haven't been in the city as long as we have, but it looks like a fire escape.
I mean, I can see it's a fire escape.
Well, then you asked the question, so I kind of wonder who's the dumbass here.
I'm going to take an offhand comment as a personal affront. And Rocky, being the macho idiot that he is going to start getting at Adrian's face. Just like, you think you're so good because you got a job, because you got your finance job a week before I did? We work at the same firm.
Hey. Respect a senior analyst, please.
We have the same job title.
Yeah, but look at the date hired and you'll see who the senior analyst is.
No one looks at that. They look at how much money you're pulling down.
Well, and that means so that maybe I should say respect the person with the better stock portfolio then. Does that make more sense? Does that feel more up to your speed, Rocky? And the crowd is now gathered, or we're like, Adrian's posse is gathered around and they're rearing for a fight. And I think people, upping the strangeness of the moment, people are coming outside, like gathering around you. And like in the same way that like the entire building was lit up, like people are just coming and like, it is appearing like that is going to be a gigantic fight as we cut back to Jose and Mark stuck on the roof and just looking down at this. So yeah, it's been like 7 days, and like I died and then I'm back at the party. And like, does that sound like, is this hell? What is like, what is your thoughts on this, Jose? That sounds like hell, right?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like hell. See, I've been doing a lot of reading recently. Been getting really into that like magical realism shit, like 100 Years of Solitude.
Yeah.
Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and just like, it seems like one of those. It's like everything's real, but it's also not.
Damn. No, like that's what's crazy about it. Is like I feel like if I was in hell, like it wouldn't feel as real, right? Like I would like, or it feels like I would like. It doesn't feel like I would be as aware of it. Like it feels like it would just be happening. It feels like the fact that I'm aware of it makes me almost like hopeful. I'm spending a strong move to make someone feel heard, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, because like you're absolutely like the thing is like. If I'm almost like hopeful, right? I'm like hopeful that I could fix this. And like if I was, unless like that's part of the hell punishment is like I'm supposed to, it's like a Jacob's Ladder thing. But like, I don't know. I think that maybe you're onto something, Jose. I think that maybe like, maybe this is, maybe you're right with this. Like,
but like, are you supposed to fix it? Like the strangeness in the magical realism, like, it's there for the purpose of the story, and it complements the real. It's not there to take away from it.
Yeah, but... Huh.
But, what do I know? I'm just a weed dealer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I come to you for, is the conversation more than the weed. Not that the weed's not great. And I think as we are sitting, I'd love to propose a move. And since this is technically a move for you, I will I will throw it to you. I would love to cut to the next scene to the sounds of the Maserati exploding and then starting back the time loop over.
Yeah.
And that would be a weak move for you because you would be dying, but I picture that as being like a
I think this is a good ending point, and I think also it gives us a good, like, the audience has a moment of like, wait a second, how did we get here? Because the camera kind of pans from Jose and Mark having this moment up on the roof, and it pans down, and we're kind of level looking at the city, and then it looks down, and we get an overhead shot, and both Rocky and Adrian are now shirtless in their tight pants, wrestling on the sidewalk next to the Maserati crushed by the fire escape.
I love it.
And then it explodes.
And then it explodes, and then we're back at the party. Mark is being shoved through the door. The thing that has changed now the entire city block is lit up. There are actual street lights. There are fireworks. This is now like a city block party. Except for Mark's one little shitty window.
Incredible.
Where is Rocky at this moment?
I think Rocky is looking for Mark. And I think Rocky like grabs Mark on the shoulder and is like, you're the one who knew about the fire escape. Do you think that we can change things? We gotta get outside my car.
I'm gonna notice something that has been neglected by everyone.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, you grab me immediately, you're saying all of this, and I'm just very chill, and I'm like, yep, the fire escape, we should probably go, like wedge it. Damn, that weed is... do you get your weed from Jose? Because, like, that shit is legit. Wait a second. I'm high right now. But I got high, and you know who I am. Huh.
I think Rocky, in a moment of clarity, is going to spend a token to ask someone else, what do you believe in? Be like, come on, man, now is the time. We gotta do it.
Hope. I knew Jose was full of shit. Yeah, let's go. And I think we run by just in time for Jose to hear this and go like, fuck.
What?
We run by, I come back, I grab Jose by the shoulder, and I'm like, come on, man, come on, we gotta go. All three of us, we're going.
Nice.
We run up the stairs, and I am going to once again expose a sliver of my true self, to kind of also play off of the question of what do I believe, which is, as much as I want to isolate myself, as much as I enjoy being apart from all of this, it is hard not to get swept up in it all, right? Like, in this moment, like, I've got Rocky and I've got Jose, and the three of us are kind of running, and like, we run up, and I grab Rocky, and I'm like, hold the door, don't move, even if great conversation happens or you hear sick music, just hold it for a bit. Jose, can you find, like, a crowbar or a wedge or, like, some kind of a brick? Something. And I think what happens then is, runs immediately, like, Jose's grabbing a brick, Rocky's holding the door, runs over and slides. And Rocky, what do you do as you see Mark slide and, like, start to swing to, like, bash the fire escape so that it falls?
I think he's, like, stretching out, that at least at the moment he's, like, still holding the door, but barely. He's like, no, we have to stop it from falling. My car's under there.
Car, wait. And, like, as it's falling, I'm like, car, okay. It falls, and we hear the crash. This is also me using a regular move of following routine above all else. Like, because I love the idea that I think I figured it out. I think I figured out that if I Groundhog Day this, even if it's not going to work, and I'm like, car, okay. Rocky, your car's gone. I'm sorry.
Dude, I thought you knew what was going on.
There's more variables at play than I thought. Was it this loud before?
I mean, it's a big party.
Apparently.
I mean, what are you even doing here if you don't like the party?
It's my building. I was trying to tell people to shut the fuck up.
Wait, you live here? I thought you were here for the party.
No, do you think I would wear this to a party? Oh god, would I wear this to a party?
I mean, you could wear it to a party that you didn't want to impress anyone at. It's kind of like a power move by not being powerful.
Yeah, It's not, I wish it were that. I really wish that it were that. I wish that were what it was, but it's not. And
Which one?
ask myself why I will never be able to do. I'm not the guy that can. I'm not the guy that can pull off a power move. I wish I was cool enough to pull off a power move, and I'm extremely not. I'm just some schlub who's in the wrong place at the wrong time now. 9? Is it 9 times? Jose, what did I say last time we talked? Was it 7 or not, or 8?
I just got here. I mean, we
All
talked
right,
last week, but
Jose's not in on the thing. It's either 7 or 8. What I'm gonna say 8, and I'm gonna ask you, Rocky, if I ask you again tomorrow, to say 9, because it'll have gone up by 1.
yeah.
Cool. I'm just a schlub that was in the wrong place 9 times, 8 times. I don't know.
I think that Rocky, like, I'm gonna spend a token to kind of use your success for someone else's benefit and, like, bulk Mark up and put a hand on his shoulder and be like, you know, sometimes what you need to throw off the model is just a little something new. And then the roof caves in.
That's when the party floods out, the roof caves in. The explosion also happens below at the same time. And we come back. The party starts back again. At this time I shove my own way inside, and I am looking frantic, but also I'm looking frantic but also determined. And the thing that has changed this time is there is now it's not just the buildings outside that are partying. There is like a carnival and festival outside, and there is like a street fair. It is like 1 a.m., but there's like a street fair outside, and there are lights, there are red carpets, there are people taking photos. This entire city block has been closed off, and it is there is on top of a building across the street a Ferris wheel that looks like it could collapse the building, but like and for the first time we see that Mark's light is also on, that he has left it on.
Mm-hmm.
As I kind of kick down the door and I'm looking around, and I spot Rocky, and I'm going to spend a token to ask for help. What number did I say for you to say?
Number 9.
Perfect. Rocky, I am so happy to see you. I am so happy that we're on the same page. Okay. Here's what we're going to do.
New plan. We get in my car. We go for a drive.
Actually, not a bad plan. I was going to plan on
The roof is a trap. Let's go.
The roof is a trap. We got to go. This is me attempting and failing to be self-sufficient. Because I think we get in the car, and like driving is a mess because there's people and you're driving around tents and booths and it's wall-to-wall traffic. But we move the car.
Honking.
Yeah, it's just a mess. And we move the car just enough that like in the rear view mirror we get a little ways away and I see it collapse, and I pause for a moment. Rocky, I have to ask you a question. Please answer this honestly. There were people on that fire escape, weren't there?
I mean, what people do with themselves is up to them. There's one person in this world who's out for you, and it's you, and that's what I've learned, and it got me here. And he's kind of pointing at his fancy leather seats in his incredibly expensive car that can't go anywhere because we're surrounded by people, as he continues to lay out the horn. And I know that here is the place to be. Have this power. And he like reaches into his wallet, pulls out an American Express, and is like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, but And I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to spend a token to ask someone else, what are you running from? It's got to get lonely, though, being all by yourself, though, right? Like, there's got to be something that you're going towards or from or something. This can't just be it, is trying to get cooler cars and shirts. I mean, I guess it could be, but...
I think I'm going to spend a token to go to do a flashback. And I think that we flash back to a much younger Rocky. Rocky's like 10 in some kind of suburban room, so suburban house, and he's watching TV, and he just sees that the fancy businessmen are on the TV, and they have all the fancy stuff, and it just looks like they have everything in the world, and it's the answer to all the problems. And he looks around his regular life and is at that moment decided, I need to become a Wall Street bro.
And
I mean, what else is there?
exposing a sliver of my true self. I can't do it. I want to. I mean, like, you're going to drive away and you're probably going to go to... Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a second. You're going to go to... I'm going to guess that party 3 houses down, 3 buildings down. Is that correct? Do I got you on that one?
I mean, yeah, it's as good as any of them. You got to go somewhere.
They are bringing a hot tub into the building, and they are going to set that up in the next 20 minutes. I'm going to guess that you're going to drive right over there. You're going to drive 3 buildings down. You're going to park there. You're going to go inside. You're going to spend the rest of the night in the hot tub.
Yeah, it sounds baller to me. What are you going on about, man? You were chill before.
And you're just not even going to think about the people that were...
Whatever, man. You do what you need to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take a weak move to act in my benefit and no one else's, and just kind of like reach over and pop the door and be like, you apparently you know where to find me, but I'm going to be there, and if you're just going to bring the mood down, then...
The car is not stopped, but you're going slow enough that I just
exactly
kind of hop out of it, and I'm like, okay, all right. Well, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow and not tonight later, but if you see you later tonight, it's number 10. Remember 10.
And Rocky just flashes the middle finger as he rolls slowly away at about half a mile an hour. I do picture a beat where we're just both standing there like, this feels like it should have been, the goodbye should have been over. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go this way so that we can actually part. It takes a solid 20 seconds to get more than like 10 feet apart.
And I'm like, I just kind of blend back into the crowd. And I think I get back to the party. I think the thing that happens when we get back to the party, I want to make it weird. Oh, I think what has happened is I walk in just in time to see like Adrian standing on top of like a mini fridge, holding a bottle in one hand and like a torch in the other. Like, this is it. This is the start of the new era. And I'm like, that's not good. And we just like, the screen burns, like the film reel burns away as we reveal the party once again on screen. And Mark is now like standing in the hallway, deeply confused. Fuck was that? Should talk to Rocky. Hopefully he's not mad at me. All right, we'll see. And I think I burst in. I burst in. Where do I find Rocky?
Yeah, I do want to add, as the city, I think that we have a setting detail has changed, that now all of the sets have like the new era party like written on it, and we've got like posters and homemade flyers and stuff just suddenly you're like, oh, I didn't really notice what they were before, but now they all are talking about the start of a new era.
And there is overhead a meteor shower is I think that's the detail, is like there is a meteor shower happening so that like the sky itself is flashing with lights and looks like the heavens themselves are joining in the party as there are these big meteors flying overhead, fireworks bursting around them. It looks like the cosmos has been brought into this party as the new era is set to begin, and I'm like, huh. This seems not great. Okay. And I like wincingly walk over to where I think I'm gonna find Rocky. Okay, so where do I wincingly find Rocky? Like I begrudgingly go and find Rocky. Where is that at?
You find Rocky, and Rocky is shirtless again, but still wearing his very tight pants.
Of course.
And he is in that hot tub.
I love that I had to. So what I picture is I have one token left, and I am going to ask for help. I think actually I'm going to expose the sliver of true self, because I think what happens is, like, in the time it takes me to get to Rocky, Rocky, you've moved your car. I've run upstairs. I find a brick myself. I put it on the door, and I run over and just grab one of the poolside chairs, and I bash the fire escape until it falls. Watch it fall. Run back down the stairs. Ironically, I'm running now and wearing the appropriate gear for it because I'm wearing a jogging suit. I run over and just before I get to you, I trip on the stairs of the hot tub and just faceplant right into the hot water. What number?
Hey man, not cool. We're trying to be chill here.
What? Yeah, but what number did I tell you that? Oh my god, it's so hot on my face.
It is a hot tub.
Just say 10. Damn it, Rocky. So I know that you're not.
How do you know it's not 11?
I don't know it's not 11. I need you to tell me if it's 11.
Why would it matter?
Oh my god, Rocky, this is why, of all the people that I would, it's fine. Fuck.
We got
it really burns.
Everything we need here. We got relaxation. We got hot babes. We got hot dudes. You're here for whatever reason. Like, this is it.
This can't be it, though. Like, because, like, something is gonna happen. Like, Adrian was 3 doors down, issuing in, like, doing some weird cult shit. And, like, something is gonna happen, and we're gonna be right back at that party. And this can't be it, then. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there has to be.
I'm gonna make a regular move to ask, what is it worth to you? Like, so what? What do you need? Why should I have to help change things?
'Cause I'm gonna miss my routine. Like, it's like, you can point to it and say, like, oh, it was a problem. It was, indicative of a problem. And, like, oh, was I in a real time loop then, or am I in the time loop now? But, like, I liked it. I liked getting a burger on Fridays and it being Burger Fridays. I liked that. I liked just doing nothing and just chilling, and I can't sustain on this. And
but what could be more routine than doing the same thing? You're the one who's trying to run everywhere, change it up. Don't make sense.
I'm gonna ask a silly question. Rocky, you ever read Gabriel Garcia Marquez?
Gabrielle who?
A friend of mine said, maybe it's not about stopping it. Maybe it is just, maybe it's just the way of things. And like at the time I was like, no, I'm gonna find a way to solve it. And maybe he was wrong. Maybe he was right. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong, you know? It's weird that I think I'm the main character.
I mean, obviously that's me, but like, I let you have your own little corner over there. I mean, come on. Look at these pants.
I mean, the pants look great. Maybe...
They get even tighter in the hot tub.
I can see that. They are incredibly tight. I can't imagine you're going to be able to get those pants off at any point.
The trick is to not take them off yourself.
This is the most I've liked you all week. Hey, you know what?
Yeah?
And I'm going to make a week and find myself trapped in a very metaphysical sense with this acknowledgement that I don't think I am the main character in this story. And I think even if I am aware of the time loop, it's not my time loop. And also, I don't think what I'm about to do is even going to solve the time loop. But I'm accepting this fate, and I'm going to cheat a little bit if that's all right, and use this token immediately because it's kind of the same move in asking for help.
Yeah.
I kind of sit back for a second, and I'm like, this might work. It might not work. Hey, do you know Adrian was 3 doors down talking like a ton of shit about you?
He what?
Yeah, he was like talking so much trash, and like people really seem to be buying it. He's like 3 doors down right now. He's got like a ceremonial torch and like I think a knife, and he was just being like, Rocky could never do this. It was like constantly.
I can't.
And I think like I kind of like sit back and watch you get out of the hot tub and like run 3 doors down, and I'm like, this is either gonna be the end of someone else's story, or at least a funny way to end this party. And like, I'm gonna throw it to you. What is the last thing that we see before we call the game?
I think that we see that Adrian and Rocky are getting ready to have another like wrestle fight, but it gets interspersed with like flashbacks of a like wrestle fight between Adrian and Rocky, and they're both much younger. They're like 14 or 15, and it's happening in like a field somewhere, not in a city, and it's much more of a softer, like friendly fight.
And I think as the loop, the other thing that we see it interspersed with is we're seeing this fight unfold. Rocky and Adrian are having their wrestle in the field, and they're having it here. And like there are these brief shots of Rocky and Adrian and Mark watching the same fight as much older, and the party around them is the same, but like they have aged. Like we're in like 20 years older, and I'm watching the same fight. And like the one commonality between like Mark now and old Mark is like, in this moment there is a face of true contentment of like, look, this is really funny. And like it may be Mark's imagination of what is to come. It may be a literal time but like the picture of just Mark watching this wrestle and old Mark watching the same wrestle, and both of us just being like, look, you gotta hand it, it's funny. Gotta admit it's funny. And like the party, like we zoom out of the party, and like the last thing that we see is like a comet soar overhead, blasting rainbow light like it is its own, like the comet has arrived at the party. And we fade out, and that's game.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for playing this with me. This was incredible.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was so much fun. What a good story. It was a great episode.
I love the snippets of the like, we don't need the super intro to the start.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we almost got there with... I feel like your character is basically ready to get out. It's just Rocky's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell that he should be kissing Adrian instead of wrestling.
For sure, obviously. Thank you so much for playing this with me. This was so much fun. Real quick, before I wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Absolutely. Everyone can find me on Twitter at Eli Seitz, ELISEITZ. Can find my games, including this one, and other work I've written for Zine Quest, all zine bite-sized games, at Eli Seitz on itch.io. And stay tuned for Zine Quest February 2022, as I have another game coming.
Oh, shit. I'm excited. Well, thank you so much for playing this with me. This was truly a delight, and for now I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me, and thanks again to Eli for coming onto the show. That game was absolutely incredible. I had the most fun with it. It was a really, really good experience. Just a really cool, captivating experience that I'm really happy that we got to share. Now be sure to pick up your own copy of Thursday at Eli Seitz, that's ELISEITZ.itch.io/Thursday, or check the show notes for more information. And be sure to follow Eli on Twitter at Seitz_Eli. Then follow us at Party of One Pod, like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/PartyOfOnePodcast. Join our Discord community at bit.ly/PartyOfOneDiscord. Head to our merch store at bit.ly/PartyOfOneMerch. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review, a Podchaser review, telling a friend about the show, giving us some love on social media. You know, give my brain a burst of dopamine because it makes me feel good and it brightens my day. You can also support the show financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. Or you can just send me a nice email at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. Say you liked the show. Send me a nice message. Tell me that you appreciated the episode. I'd like to hear from you. Let's see. What else do I do here? You can also listen to All My Fantasy Children, which is the character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast I make with my best friend, Aaron Catano-Saez, every single week. On the show, we spin up an original fantasy character based on one of your prompts every single week, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com because the show is part of the One Shot Podcast Network. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming onto the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's all we do here, so until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.